going on, YT? It is your girl LeaRae, and you're tuned into The LeaRaeShow. So, I wanted to come on here and just discuss the making of a villain with you. I was not expecting to be moved in the manner that I was. So, if you're the type of old person who has this it's us versus them with Gen Z mentality, then you probably should click off this video, because I'm not that old person. It's not a us versus them. I don't hate the way Gen Z dresses. I don't hate the music of Gen Z's culture. I like trap music. I like mumble rap. I like the look. I like the sound. I like their whole swag, their whole vibe. It's different from what I grew up on, but I'm not against it because that's their thing. Let them live. You feel me? If they don't want to say words when they rap, let them mumble. It's on the radio though. They getting views out here though. Why y'all hating? So if you that type of person, oh, I can't stand it when they be sagging and blah, blah, blah. I love Gen Z. They different. They be wilding. They call it the popcorn culture. You know, they need everything right away. There's a sense of entitlement. There's a sense of let's do the next challenge. Let's do anything by any means necessary. They got their own thing going and I'm not against them. Tekashi6ix9ine. Gotcha, 6ix9ine. I don't know why I say it like that. It's just the way I've always said it, because this person has never looked like a real person to me. I remember how I felt when I first saw him, and I was just like, what is he doing? Why is he doing all this extra stuff? And I understand having your own swag, but when I looked at him, it looked tacked on. It looked like it was created. And this is way before the making of a villain. Who is this character? Like, who made this person up? I just chalked it up to me kind of not understanding or not being in the know with the generation to the point where I would know who this is, because this kid was getting views. He was mad popular. And that's when I also came to learn of Trippie Redd. Trippie Redd, he a little I mean, they all kind of the same to me. When I saw Trippie Redd and then I saw Tekashi, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the move right now. Like, this is what the kids are doing. See, they're so, you know, outlandish. I think Lil Pump was in there too. I was just finding about all these characters like at one time. They're being super expressive and I don't get it. Tekashi is always hollering. I can't say nothing about that because we had DMX. DMX is always on 10. Then we had Lil Jon. Let's go! Lil Jon always screaming about something. He stay crunk. I'm like, Tekashi, he just on his crunk monster stuff. Like, that's just new wave. But I really didn't understand his genre of music, because when I see the videos, it look like it's rap, but it don't sound like it's rap. But then it do sound like it's rap, but the way he rapping don't sound like rap. But that's not to say anything, because that's the generation. I mean, do we even have genres of music anymore? If you want to know what a genre of a music is, you have to go back. 2021 with new music, what is the genre? I don't know. Everything is pop, rap, rock, / trap, / this, / it's whatever the artist wants to be in that moment. I didn't understand his vibe. I didn't know where he was going. Time went by. It's not that I listened to a few songs of his, but it wasn't something that I was particularly interested in. And then the next thing I know is he a snitch.
Oh my God.
He talking crazy to people on the internet, which seems to be his MO. And then like a whole bunch of people got locked up over him. People are talking about like they're after him. Like that's where I picked up on it. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what did kid do? Like, I know that there was like, you know, there's an element to rap that's very real. And I say that because not everybody is out here living that life. Not everybody out here is about that life. But like some people, when they rap, they tell lies. But it's a lot of people that when they rap, they tell the truth. So when I was looking at all this beef, I was like, oh, is this just like stunting for the internet, or is this some real beef going on? I learned that there was some real beef going on when I seen like 20 people go to jail over this dude. And I was just like, yo, saw the documentary and I was like, yo, I'm about to check this out, because the title alone was interesting. It was like the making of a villain. Like, I had already thought that this dude was made up. To see a documentary about it, I was like, let me see who created him. Let me see who, because I think that people in the music industry, they'll see somebody and they'll be like, I could turn this person into so-and-so, or I can make this person what I need them to be, to fit the culture, to fit the movement, to fit the trend. If you have not seen this documentary, I really want you to see it, especially if you have kids that are a part of Gen Z. You need to see this, because this is what they will do. I'm not saying your kids in particular. I'm just saying Gen Z, by any means necessary. What tripped me out about Tekashi was that he was a square. And by square, I just mean not a gangster. He was never really a gangster, I guess. Regular Danny Hernandez. Like regular, a dude that I could have went to high school with if I was in New Jersey and I was of this this generation. He looks like every other Hispanic kid that I grew up with. He had some trauma in the beginning of his life, and it's crazy how trauma affects people differently. But you know, he had a father, and the father was never there. His father was on drugs and stuff like that. He had his mother, and then his stepfather came into his life, and his stepfather, he said, was like his superhero, and his stepfather got murdered, and it kind of like sent him over the edge. And he was like, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't want to be a superhero no more. I want to be a villain, because the villain don't never die. The villain stays surviving, and everybody loved to hate the villain. I was like, he got a point. He got this girlfriend, which is the current mother of his child, the one that's been on Insta, Twitter, Snap, Talking Face, in this whole ordeal, because you know they started, you know, saying things about each other's kids, which was wild. She got involved. She was very upset. So that's how I learned who she was. She was in the 3-part series documentary, and she was saying how she met him, and they got together before he blew up. After the whole situation with his father dying and everything, he kind of changed, and he wanted to be this villain, be recognized. So he came out with this clothing line. This clothing line was crazy to me. I mean, if I saw somebody walking down the street wearing these clothes, I would be like, yo, you're wildin', my dude. I wouldn't be able to look away. His girlfriend, you could call her ride or die. I don't really call what she did ride or die, because after you listen to the documentary and you understand the type of abuse that she endured, and even when you're listening to the documentary and they have clips of him talking to her, I wonder, like, girls, young girls, is this the way dudes talk to you? Do dudes say, oh, with their arm around you, look at this stupid right here? Is that how they talk to you? Because that's not normal. So if you're with a dude and he's talking to you, calling you a and all this kind of stuff, you need to get away from that dude, because you're in an abusive relationship and you don't even know. I felt bad for her, because she did not know she had been in an abusive relationship since she was a kid. You know, they go on to talk about how he came up with the clothing line and he wanted to do photo shoots. Girls started coming and getting involved because they were doing crazy videos in his clothes and getting attention, and she was fussing about it and stuff, but he was like, yeah, but I'm just trying to get these likes, you feel me? Like, really on some, this is for the movement stuff. I'm trying to make it. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be famous. It's a process to become an internet famous. He had the process mastered, and probably didn't know he had it mastered in the time that he was doing it. But because there was no legit plan. The plan was unraveling in the moment. It wasn't like, let me write this down. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me vision board this. Nah, it was like building like Legos as he was thinking, like in real time. It's the craziest thing that I've ever seen. He said to himself that he had to get into this music game. Now, this is the crazy part. This is the mind blower for me. Dude was not into rap. He didn't know nothing about rap at all. He couldn't even recite like Biggie lyrics, they said. I'm not even into rap like that, to the point where I could, this album and this album, but I could say I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8 38s, 9 9 10 Mac 10s that never end. I can recite some Biggie lyrics. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I can recite Biggie lyrics. Do hip hop, but you can't recite no Biggie lyrics. Dude was never hip hop. Dude was punk rock. It had all made sense to me. Like, he like a rock and roll dude. When he first started his career in music, he was doing punk rock, and I think I've been traumatized, because when I saw him hang that girl up from them hooks in her back and he was swinging on the stoop with her, I was just like, wow, this is that deep punk rock. This is that stuff I can't even watch. Like, it's that weird stuff. And by weird, it's no disrespect. I just mean not of the norm. But punk rock, notice, that's not kind of underground. You feel me? Like, we know it exists, but ain't nobody on the punk rock movement. You gotta go to some clubs that kind of don't nobody know about, and these concerts that in areas ain't nobody been to go to these punk rock concerts, because I know they don't be advertised the way Summer Jam be advertised. He was kind of into that, but that wasn't getting him no shmoney, you feel me? Now, I forgot how he linked up with Treyway. Like, I can't really remember how he exactly got down with them, but I remember him some kind of way linking up with, I think his name was Billy. Somebody put Billy on to this kid, and then he kind of looked at him and he kind of seen what he was doing, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this kid got something. Billy said it was weird. It was, but he understood that weird is what pops right now. Everybody looking for the next new thing. Everybody trying to be more different, more outrageous, more shocking than the next. He saw something in him, because Kashi had something, and not everybody got it. And whatever it was that he had, or that he has, whether you like it or not, he did what he set out to do. He's done it, because he's famous. The heat that came with all that, that's a different story. He was able to do that himself. When he was coming up with his look and you know, trying to do the next best crazy thing, he was talking about how like, yeah, it's cool to have like tattoos and rap right here on my arms and all that kind of stuff, but that's not crazy enough. You feel me? I be having braids in my hair, but that's not crazy enough. So he went and got the rainbow hair, which threw a lot of people off. This is how his hair is. The tattoos, he was like, nah, I gotta do something crazy. So that's why he got the 6ix9ine on his forehead. And he talks about how he came to be Tekashi and how he picked, you know, Tekashi6ix9ine and whatnot. He was trying to shock you with the visual, because when I seen him, I was shocked, forever traumatized. And then people started to notice. They talk about the Gummo video and how Billy was telling him, you know, he rounded up all his fellow members and he was like, yeah, we're gonna do this photo shoot or whatever. They all had their stuff, you know, they flags and stuff like that. And Tekashi showed up and he wanted to wear one of their flags, and Billy was like, nah, yo, just wear your Mexican flag. Like, you Mexican and Puerto Rican, just rock your stuff. But Tekashi insisted. And then they let it slide, which was weird to me, because I feel like if that was Snoop Dogg would have been like, no way, Jose. Ain't no like, let it slide. You just can't come on here and rap this and do this. Like, so I wonder why like they let it slide. I wonder if it's a different culture with their group in 2021. Like, this is a different, it's a subset of the main. They move different than what I had known or how I had known them to move previously, you know? I remember growing up and the Latin Kings being a thing. Depending on where you lived, you're not gonna wear their colors and you're not gonna claim them, because that's gonna bring problems. Look, I didn't grow up around. Was I hood adjacent? Yes. Was I adjacent? Yes. Meaning, did I know some super hood people? Yes. Did I know people that were in like in the Bloods? Yes. Just about a little bit that I do know, it was certain things that I would never do. Oh, I'm about to wear this color or something around all your people. That wouldn't have flew. So I didn't really understand how that happened. And then it just progresses and it shows how manipulative Tekashi was. One of the most eye-opening things he did was they were filming a video for another artist. I don't know if it was like Billy's video, because he was the artist who, I can't remember whose video it was. And Tekashi was like, let me record y'all. Like, let me be on the other side of the camera. Let me see what this looks like. So he started recording, and then he got all this video footage. And then when Tekashi released his next video, it was almost like a mirror image of the footage that he got from the other dude's videos. And that's when people kind of stopped messing with Tekashi, because they seen like how he was just like out for self, how manipulative he was, how divisive he could be if he wanted to. It was just crazy. And then he talks about the cell phone, and that was the most powerful part of the documentary for me, is when he said, because the documentary called the cell phone a weapon, he said the cell phone, if you got one of these, you can make $1 billion. Facts. It's just, what are you willing to do? True enough, there's plenty of people out there who do not sell their soul to get internet famous. But if you want to get internet famous quick, fast, and in a hurry, and you got a cell phone, just start doing crazy stuff. You'll go viral. And I'm not encouraging wilding out, because I think you're selling yourself short, and you're selling yourself a short-lived dream. I don't know what's gonna happen to Tekashi right now, because I didn't know how deep what he did was until I seen the documentary. By him snitching, I don't know. He sent like over 10, maybe 15 people to jail. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And I know that these people were a part of, but he repped like he was really a part of that, even though he really wasn't a part of it. But he repped like he was down for these dudes. And I'm not condoning anything they did. It's just, I understand. I can't relate, but I understand the code that he broke, how he betrayed those dudes, and how they look at each other like family, and they would never think anybody would do anything to them like that. And then this kid just went in there and just snitched so hard. And it's not like how it would be for us. Like, this don't count for us. We are civilians. I think one of the DJs said that. I mean, it just kind of told you what type of person he really was. Like I said, I don't support nothing they do, but I just feel bad that they got duped the way they got duped by a kid. But anyway, if you haven't watched the documentary, go ahead and watch it. It's very, very entertaining. And it just gives you a deep glimpse into pop culture and what some of these people will go through to get famous. Anyway, y'all, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, peace.